Let's be honest. Deep down, you felt that sudden knot in your stomach, the one that whispers, something's off. Maybe it's subtle. Maybe it's that tiny shift in her smile, or the way her phone has suddenly become a secretive little fortress she guards with a glare. And before you dismiss it, know this: your instincts are rarely wrong. There are hidden signs, buried under her words, gestures, and even her silences, that can't be ignored. But most men, they overlook them. They convince themselves it's nothing. That little voice in your head, that's the part of you that's awake, the part that sees more than you think. And today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on truths women never openly admit. Truths that most men never get a chance to understand until it's too late. Here's the harsh reality. Intimacy leaves echoes. Not emotional echoes that fade with time, but subtle, almost imperceptible physical and behavioral imprints that linger long after the act itself. Women don't broadcast these things. They hide them instinctively, but your eyes, your intuition can catch them if you know what to look for. It's not about paranoia, it's about awareness. Awareness that protects your heart, your mind, and your sense of self. Think about how she acts around you. Small things matter. The scent she leaves behind, the way she moves, even her energy in bed or when she's near you. There's a difference between connection and familiarity, and men rarely distinguish the two until the signs are screaming. Maybe she's more distant than before. Maybe she's touch is sharper, less patient, or oddly rehearsed. These aren't coincidences. The human mind and body are like a lie detector. They betray moments of hidden truth if you know how to read them. And let's not sugarcoat this. Confronting reality is uncomfortable. No one wants to imagine their partner has been with someone else. But avoidance doesn't protect you. Clarity does. That knot you feel, that's your wake-up call. It's telling you to observe, to notice, to pay attention to details that don't lie. Your emotions are signals. Your gut is a radar tuned to subtle deviations from her normal behavior. Today, I'm giving you tools to recognize these hidden signs without relying on speculation or insecurity. This isn't about accusing without reason. It's about seeing patterns that are real, undeniable, and often overlooked by men who choose to believe. By the end of this video, you won't need to ask, could she be hiding something? You'll know. You'll have clarity. And with that clarity comes power. The power to protect yourself, to make decisions, and to never ignore those quiet alarms again. So pay attention. Notice how she looks at you, how she talks, the little shifts in intimacy that make you pause. These are not trivial. These are signals, a language her body and mind speak when words fail. And if you've ever felt that pang of doubt, that uneasy curiosity, you're about to learn why it matters more than you think. The first thing most men notice is a change in energy. It's subtle at first, like a shadow passing across the room, something you feel more than see. She might still laugh at your jokes, still flirt in the same way, but there's a distance behind her eyes you didn't notice before. That sparkle, that warmth, it's there, but it's dimmer. And men, we dismiss it as stress, or work, or a bad day. But what if it's not stress at all? What if her mind has wandered elsewhere, leaving her present body just going through the motions? Pay attention to her touch. It's one of the most revealing things a woman unconsciously betrays. After intimacy with another man, her touch changes, not drastically, but in ways your subconscious can detect. There's a hesitancy, a rhythm slightly off, a warmth that isn't fully hers. It's almost imperceptible, but you feel it when you're with her. You may even notice that her kisses feel different, less spontaneous, more mechanical. That's your gut screaming, this isn't the same energy I knew. Then there's her secrecy, but not the obvious kind. Men often look for hidden phones or locked apps, thinking betrayal is about proof. The truth? Real signs are woven into her habits. She might suddenly protect her phone in ways that didn't exist before. Or she might leave the room to take calls only to return with a strange calm, like a secret she can't entirely contain. Watch the patterns. Are there new routines? little deviations from her usual behavior that feel wrong? These are breadcrumbs, and if you follow them carefully, you'll start to see the bigger picture. Emotional distance is another key marker. Women who have been with another man sometimes unconsciously close off parts of themselves from the man in front of them. Conversations feel lighter, surface level, lacking the emotional depth you once shared. Topics that used to spark connection suddenly fizzle. And it's not that she's lost interest, it's that part of her mind is carrying experiences she hasn't shared, leaving her fragmented between two realities. Watch how she reacts to intimacy outside of the bedroom too. Affection in public may increase. She overcompensates to hide internal guilt or to reassure herself, or even to manipulate your perception. But in private, subtle cracks appear. She's distracted, restless, or suddenly critical of things she never questioned before. The tiniest inconsistencies in her story, her tone, or her gestures are not random. They're signals your intuition has been trying to decode all along. And finally, observe her eyes. The eyes never lie. Men underestimate this. A fleeting look away, a shift in focus when she hears certain words, or a hesitation before answering a question, these are micro moments of truth. Every man senses when a woman's mind drifts elsewhere, when the bond you thought was mutual now carries the weight of a hidden experience. It's uncomfortable to acknowledge, yes, but that discomfort is also clarity. Your mind might try to rationalize these signs away. Don't let it. Awareness isn't about creating suspicion, it's about seeing reality before it blindsides you. If you learn to read these signals, you protect your heart, your self-respect, and your ability to make decisions that align with your truth. Some signs aren't emotional, they're physical, and they hit deeper than words ever could. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. Every encounter leaves subtle imprints, almost like invisible fingerprints, and men who are truly attentive can see them. It's in the way she moves, in the rhythm of her body, in small unconscious gestures that weren't there before. These aren't things she can control. The human body doesn't lie. Notice the way she dresses, even when it seems trivial. It's not about vanity, it's about preparation. Has she suddenly changed the way she dresses when she knows she'll be around you? Not flashy, not overt, but calculated. Subtle sense, a different touch of lipstick, a clothing style that seems off from her usual comfort zone. These are micro-adjustments designed to mask or overcompensate for the hidden experiences she's carrying. Men often miss this because they're distracted by surface appearances, but if you pay attention, these tiny shifts scream truth. Intimacy patterns shift too. She might be more demanding, more hesitant, or even strangely distant during moments that were once natural. The contrast is never blatant, it's nuanced. You might feel a small disconnect, like she's performing actions without fully engaging emotionally. Some men chalk this up to stress or routine, but the truth is far more revealing. These micro-changes are her body responding to experiences it can't erase, her subconscious signaling a truth she can't speak aloud. Then there's her sleep patterns. Yes, sleep patterns. Men ignore this because it seems insignificant, but it's one of the clearest signs of hidden intimacy. She may be restless, awake at odd hours, or distracted even when lying next to you. It's not insomnia. It's cognitive dissonance. Her mind is processing moments she hasn't shared, replaying experiences, and this leaves a subtle residue in her energy that only a man attuned to her behavior can notice. Her hygiene or grooming may change too, not because she's careless, but because she's trying to maintain control over the chaos of secrecy. Small shifts in routine, new fragrances, altered hair routines, subtle changes in how she presents herself are all breadcrumbs. A man who pays attention can see these as patterns rather than coincidences, and pay attention to micro-expressions. The split-second flashes on her face when she hears certain words, sees specific people, or is touched in particular ways. A fleeting hesitation, a shadow crossing her features, a tension in her jaw. These are all signals her body gives off before her mind can edit them. Micro-expressions are the unconscious truth detectors of human behavior, and women can't hide them completely. They betray the secret experiences she carries. Finally, observe her energy around intimacy outside of physical acts. Is she overly affectionate in public while distant in private? Is she suddenly critical of things you used to share naturally? These contradictions are not random. They're the aftershocks of experiences you weren't meant to see. Every subtle gesture, every unconscious response is a puzzle piece of reality, waiting for a man who is awake enough to recognize it. Ignoring these signs doesn't make them disappear. It only blinds you. Awareness gives you power. It allows you to protect your heart, understand her behaviors, and see reality clearly, even when it's uncomfortable. It's not just her body that tells the story. Her words, her tone, the way she communicates, these are just as revealing if you know how to listen. Women unconsciously reveal truths through language patterns, even when they try to act normal. And men, most are too distracted by surface-level interactions to catch it. But if you pay attention, you'll notice the cracks, the subtle inconsistencies, the hesitations that reveal more than she's willing to say aloud. Listen to the way she speaks about intimacy. Does she avoid certain topics, change the subject suddenly, or respond with a small tension in her voice? These micro-signals are indicators of unspoken experiences. Men often dismiss them as moodiness, stress, or distraction, but these patterns aren't random. They're the echoes of moments she hasn't shared, leaving her subconsciously cautious in conversation. Your role isn't to interrogate, it's to observe and understand. Notice how she frames her stories. Does she overcompensate by highlighting loyalty, exaggerating emotional attachment, or emphasizing exclusivity? Often, this is a subconscious shield. Women who have hidden experiences sometimes talk in ways that reinforce their commitment to you, almost as if convincing themselves while trying to prevent you from noticing. The key is subtlety. It's not loud, not accusatory. It's hidden in tone, repetition, and choice of words. Pay attention to what she avoids. Men overlook avoidance, thinking it's coincidence. But avoidance is powerful. Certain topics, names, places, even times of day can trigger her hesitation. Her mind creates invisible boundaries around memories she doesn't want to reveal, and while she may act normal, the pause before answering, the slight distraction in her eyes, or the carefully measured tone of her voice all betray a deeper truth. Then there's emotional accessibility. Has she become harder to read, more guarded, or suddenly defensive about trivial issues? Emotional distance is rarely accidental. When a woman has been with another man, her emotional availability can shift. It's not necessarily about love. It's about protecting herself from vulnerability, and sometimes from guilt. Men confuse this with disinterest, but the reality is far more complex. Watch how she interacts with intimacy in general, not just physical. Does she seem rehearsed, overly attentive, or strangely distant in moments that were once effortless? These contradictions are psychological fingerprints of experiences you weren't meant to witness. They show up in laughter that feels slightly off, compliments that are calculated, or gestures that lack spontaneity. Finally, notice how she reacts when you get close, emotionally, mentally, physically. A fleeting glance away, a subtle tightening of posture, a pause before words or touches, these are not coincidences. They are her subconscious responses, telling you more than her words ever could. Every man who ignores these cues does so at his own risk. Awareness of these psychological signs doesn't make you suspicious, it makes you awake. It gives you the clarity to see her truth, protect your own heart, and understand what's happening beneath the surface. By now you may be feeling the weight of it, the uncomfortable truth that these signs aren't coincidences. They are patterns, subtle but undeniable, and they reveal a reality most men refuse to see. One of the most revealing areas is behavior, how she acts in ways that contradict her words, how small habits shift without explanation, and how her attention divides without her even realizing it. Notice her patterns around communication. Is she less available? Does she reply inconsistently, sometimes overly eager, other times distant? These fluctuations are rarely random. They reflect inner conflicts, divided attention, and experiences she hasn't processed. Men often interpret this as moodiness or lack of interest, but it's actually a behavioral footprint of intimacy that she cannot fully conceal. Pay attention to her reactions when intimacy is expected. Has she become unusually demanding, impatient, or even hesitant? Physical closeness reveals a lot. The subtle pullback, the micro signs of discomfort or sudden distraction during intimate moments are behavioral cues that something is unresolved. These aren't accusations, they are observations. Every gesture, every pause, every slightly forced smile carries hidden meaning. Then there's social behavior. Observe how she interacts with friends, family, or even casual acquaintances. Has she become overly defensive about certain topics or unusually protective of her phone and personal space? Behavioral shifts in everyday life are rarely isolated. They ripple across all areas. A man awake to these signals can connect the dots, revealing patterns that reveal a hidden truth. Even small routines tell stories. Has she suddenly altered habits around home, work, or travel? Are there inconsistencies in what she says she's doing versus what she actually does? Behavioral changes like these are rarely coincidental. They are subtle forms of avoidance, compensatory actions, and attempts to maintain control over a narrative she fears will unravel if examined too closely. And don't overlook micro-behaviors in public versus private settings. Does she behave differently around you in ways that seem unnatural? Overcompensation, inaffection, exaggerated compliments, or sudden attentiveness can be indicators of internal conflict. Women unconsciously mirror what they feel guilty about or wish to hide. If you know what to look for, these behavioral signals are almost impossible to ignore. Finally, consider the energy she brings into the relationship. Patterns of inconsistency, moments of intensity followed by withdrawal, bursts of attention followed by detachment, are behavioral signatures of someone carrying hidden experiences. Men often ignore these because they are gradual, incremental, and easy to rationalize. But they are there, and they are telling the truth. Behavior doesn't lie. It's consistent, persistent, and revealing when observed carefully. These signs aren't about paranoia. They are about awakening to reality. Recognizing them gives you clarity, protects your emotions, and allows you to act with knowledge rather than uncertainty. Awareness of these patterns isn't optional. It's essential if you want to navigate the truth of any relationship with your eyes wide open. By now, you've seen the patterns, felt the unease, and sensed the truths most men overlook. What I've shared isn't speculation. It's reality disguised in subtlety. Every gesture, every hesitation, every shadow in her behavior or her words is a signal. And ignoring them won't make them disappear. It only leaves you vulnerable, trapped in a reality someone else shaped without your awareness. Here's the truth most men refuse to admit. Women carry experiences you can't erase. And while she may love you, desire you, or care for you, those experiences leave traces. They show up in energy, in touch, in laughter that doesn't quite reach her eyes. They linger in gestures, in silence, and in subtle behavioral shifts. Awareness is your shield. It is what separates men who are awake, who protect their hearts, from men who remain blind until the truth hits like a shockwave. You've been given a lens, a way to see beyond words, beyond excuses, and beyond comforting illusions. Trust your instincts. They are finely tuned radars, alert to deviations, micro-changes, and patterns that most men dismiss as coincidence. Pay attention to the small things, the pauses, the hesitations, the micro-expressions, the shifts in intimacy, the protective routines. Each one is a breadcrumb. Each one a signal, each one an echo of a hidden reality she may never voice. And here's what most men never understand. Clarity isn't cruel, it's empowering. It frees you from doubt, from insecurity, from false comfort. It allows you to make decisions that protect your heart, your peace, and your sense of self. Awareness doesn't demand confrontation. It demands observation, patience, and honesty with yourself. The moment you recognize these hidden signs, you gain a choice to act, to decide, and to reclaim control over your emotional world. Now, here's something for you to think about and share in the comments. Imagine this: if every subtle signal she gives is a number in an equation, and your awareness multiplies their significance, what's the sum of all the truths your instincts have been quietly warning you about? Take a moment, think about it, and write your answer in the comments. If this video opened your eyes, if it made you see what you've been missing, do 3 things. Like the video, subscribe for more truths you weren't supposed to know, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. Someone who's ready to wake up to reality. The truth is rarely easy to face, but it's always necessary.